Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming.
Great day to you, Eva. How you doing? Thank you for joining.
They build up their walls, so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Shout out to my little brother, C-Dog Collins, on making my intro music. Hashtag I'm gonna say it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, little brother. It's awesome. Coco Puff says that's a beautiful song. Thank you. I appreciate that. My little brother done it. Hopefully he comes in. Matter of fact, let me send him. Let me send him an invite real quick to come in, and he can possibly get you sent that. I'm not sure if he put it on any musical platforms yet. He just made it. He just created it like last week, so I'm not sure if he does have it on platforms or anything. When he emailed it to me, I saved it and put it on my Spotify playlist. So I sent him an invite. I know he's at work, but maybe he'll tune in. And if I see him pop up, I'll link you two together. But thank you all for joining me. This is hashtag I'm going to say it. I'm your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter, Mr. Breaking News. What we've been doing here lately is, of course, keeping up with the this guy's trial right here. Now, before we get started, let's do our disclaimer here, everybody.
Welcome to hashtag I'm gonna say it. All things said in today's show are alleged and are for entertainment, educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
All right, so we got ourselves covered on that, right? But so what we do has been covering the trial here, or just basically giving updates as it come in. And we like to open the panel and just allow people to come up and give their perspective on things as well. Again, people, it's just an opinion, right? So we don't have to be disrespectful to anyone. We don't have to argue with anyone. We're all gonna have differences of opinions, and that's fine. That's fine. I think we can all be mature about it and just come together and have fun. Which at the end of the day, that's needed in the world if you think about it, fun, because we already have enough craziness going on out there. So let's give a quick recap on what's being reported from yesterday. And that's the fact that finally we know that Cassie did take the stand. And there were some things that she said pretty much, it was things that we knew or have heard, I should say, already. However, she did go into detail on some things, and there were some things that were, we won't repeat here. We won't say here. You're more than welcome to go and research it yourself and find out the exact verbiage that she used on things that happened to her. Another thing we had an issue with yesterday when we opened up the panel is not necessarily an issue, because again, it's just an opinion, but a lot of people were basically saying that Cassie kind of wanted it. She stayed, so therefore it was something she must have, have done, right? Hold on. Cake and Quotes. I like that handle. How you doing? Good morning to you. But did she ever talk about just them two being together intimately without people? You know, that's a good question because I haven't heard that. I would assume, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anthea, am I pronouncing that correctly? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope so. You said you have some questions. Okay, absolutely. Come up. There you go. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for that heart, me, Eva. I appreciate it.
Good morning. I just have a couple of questions. Um,
Okay.
can you explain what this trial is about and like any updates of
Hmm.
what's
Okay.
going on?
Fair question. Yeah. So it's now I can't say the real name on TikTok on the platform, so we'll call it Ricardo.
Yeah.
But it's all right, right? On the grounds
Yeah.
of the fact that they're basically saying he used his business, um, his companies to fund or aid his ability to bring in these SMEX workers and Sapphic. I'm sorry, Sapphic. His D-rug usage and stuff like bringing it in for to provide for his freak offs. Now, a lot of people saying, well, listen, just because it's a freak off like that, that's somebody's kink. You that's not a crime, and it's not. It's not a crime. However, when you start to inebriate someone against their will, hold them against their will, and things of that nature, that's where that comes into play at on that part.
Where the reason why I was asking was because I saw a few posts about it being young, much very young people,
Yes, yes. Um,
and
that hasn't been stated or brought up in court, so I can't say that that's true yet. I get what you're saying, and I pretty much know what you're saying. Um, but it hasn't been addressed or brought up in any of the charges or anything he's facing. So, unfortunately, we can't verify that.
oh, okay. Yeah, I had seen a few posts about it being much younger people and I didn't know what kind of law that would fall under because as an adult, um the that type of service,
Hmm.
it's it's those people are usually willing participants because that's their job. You know what I mean?
I do. I know it's hard to use code words. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
So yeah, I was just curious about that because I don't stay like I don't go I went down a couple of dark rabbit holes before and I they were too dark for me, so I don't like doing that anymore. But I was curious about what the actual um what this
Charges were.
actual case, yeah,
Hmm.
regarding this thing because it's you see so much propaganda.
That's true. That's true. Well, yeah, just as far as the court filing, it's the Ricardo charges. Of course, they get him for well, they're trying to
So it's
put.
basically it has to do with them uh, unwillingly or unknowingly ingesting substances.
Hmm. Correct, correct. That and also traffic. I keep wanting to say the word trafficking, like flying people in to participate in these things, and it's those things that they're trying to pin on them. It's really those things. But at the end of the day, they have to prove that these people were done that way against their will. Whereas the defense is going to say, well, these people came knowingly. Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
the other and I have my other question was the other people who were participants
Hmm.
in the activities that they find that they deem to be illegal,
Hmm.
would would those people then be charged?
That's a hard. That I'm not sure. I don't think so as of right now because they haven't been mentioned in that form, or they hadn't stated that they were going after those people or pursuing those people in that way. I think it's just him being the um. I'm gonna say like because he arranged it. He
Oh,
was like the
like the
leader of it.
facilitator.
Right, the creator. Right, right. So I think it's just solely based on him, not the other people who were brought in.
So basically, he's similar in position to like Epstein.
Good comparison. Good comparison. Great comparison, actually. The only difference is here you have adults, whereas in Epstein's case, we know it was little people. I guess
Yeah.
you could say it that way. You know,
Okay.
that'd be the only difference there.
Okay. I was just curious because I like I said before, I went down a couple of rabbit holes and they ended up being really dark, and I try to avoid going that dark.
Right.
It's
It,
not.
it can
I'm
it can
not.
take you to some places, right?
Yeah, and it yeah, and I didn't. I feel sad for the people.
Hmm. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. Like I said, he's due his day in court, which he has now, and will and they'll render a verdict either way it goes. However, the things that he are definitely guilty of, I want him to face the justice for that. But things
100.
that he didn't do, then I don't want him to face it for that.
I
But
I I agree completely. That's why we have our constitution and our laws.
Good
mhm.
morning.
Hey, good morning, Shashelle. How
How
you
are
doing?
you?
Doing great, great. Tell your husband hi as well.
I will. He's here. I just quickly wanted to come up here and ask you a question. How you felt about the proceedings so far with Cassie?
Honestly, I think it's been good. I do
Yeah.
believe yesterday the person who was um representing the prosecutor on asking the question, and I don't remember her name, but
Yeah.
I don't think she aggressively asked enough. Like I don't think she
Yes.
asked the right questions.
Listen, you're right there with me. I was thinking
Okay.
that too. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm saying to myself, like, they gotta show proof. Like, listen, when you sit here and you think about the freak offs, right? There's people in the
Hmm.
world that, are just crazy like that. They're like, listen, let me just take this back because I want him gone for good. Because
Right.
when children are involved, and I specifically told you this yesterday strongly, like he has 4 girls, man. And karma, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Karma, it always comes.
It does. It
It
does.
always
The
comes.
thing about the daughters, and well, I can't. Well, Christian, I want to say Christian too, but
Yeah.
he moves a little different than the twins. You understand?
Then all of
Even though
them.
they
Mm-hmm.
right, right. So uh,
Yes.
when I say this, I'm really not trying to leave him out, but I
Mm-hmm.
have to for the sake of the point that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel really, really bad for the twins because you have to not only hear your father's craziness in that kind of
Yes.
setting, but you also have the passing or unaliving of your mother coming back.
Mother. Mm. Listen, I can't say this enough, right? I saw something today where they were like, why is Jay Z walking around scot free? Okay. Jay Z is his best friend. His lawyer came on talking about, oh, they were just business partners and this and that. No, they weren't. Jay Z knows everything. There's clips of them. I don't know if you've seen this where they're getting all excited and Diddy's talking to him out of a room. But when they showed a clip of a little bit of that room, there were all kids sitting in there with their parents. Did you see that clip?
Crazy. No, I didn't. I didn't see
Listen,
it.
all right. I save everything. I'm going to go back and find that. So, yeah,
Please send that to
I
me.
will send that
Please
to
do.
you. I mean, it was on, ever since it started, like bits and pieces of everything. And I told you, like, I'm starting my own podcast. So
Yeah.
I try to give the benefit of the doubt for everything. But man, you got like one thing I'm going to say, and this is not about me being prejudiced or anything, but it's time when you're constantly hearing these people defending him and then trying to make it a black and white thing. This is not about black and white. This is about a man who was powerful had everything on the palm of his hands. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he had everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for this to happen, like I don't even know. Like I know if I was um gifted with the ability and talents that he had, I would appreciate
Right.
everything in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just
Right.
got too powerful and he felt that the law couldn't touch him. I mean,
Right.
you know how Diddy feels about the police officers, right? Do you know? Like
Yeah.
he's
Oh yeah.
not. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
now
Absolutely.
for the rest of
Absolutely.
his life, he's gonna have to listen to the law. You understand? He's gonna have to listen to
Right.
these cops when he's behind, when he's in jail. And it's just I can't even fathom to tell you that I feel for
Yeah.
his daughters. I feel that his sons knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this has been going on for 16 years, right? Maybe more. People are saying 20 years. How can your kids not know something? Something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like how?
I, well, and some of the things, some of the clips I've seen where and I'm not saying it's the freak off parties. I'm just gonna say there's a party going on, and
Yes.
the lighting is red in the room, and some of his children have been present. So, uh, I don't. Someone Coco Puff says you're wrong. Remember, his kids, they have life also. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by
For
that,
that.
but
Explain
if you
yourself.
could, yeah, if you could go into, and also my little brother's in here. So, little brother, Coco Puff, she liked the entrance, the show, the entrance music you made, the theme song you made for the show. She likes that and wanted to know if you had it put on Apple. I think she said Apple, but her name is Coco Puff, and so you all get together and talk about the song. Okay,
That's all right.
right,
But
but
there was a
yeah,
comment from somebody on here. I guess it went too quick. I couldn't see it, but he stated like, "There's no proof that she did this, willingly." Okay, maybe she did do it. I'm not going to say that it was 100% willingly because you got to throw in the fear, you got to throw in the threats.
hmm
When someone is that high of a power and people don't understand that, people were scared to come out and open their mouths because they knew he had power. And you see all these people being unalived.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
Well,
saying? So there's
there
fear.
there's a couple of things I want people to take into perspective when they get to that point, or when they make that statement or claim. And here's the things I want to point out to them. Let's To your point. First of all, you got to keep. There was grown men that was afraid of him, and secondly, like when we talk about her um, consent to doing these things, well,
Yes.
if you listen to what she said yesterday, she said the first time he put I'm just gonna say, 'cause
I know
I
it's
don't know.
hard because you can't use certain
Can
words
you
on
can
here.
you say, are you allowed to say this is a direct quote and what that person said, or will it?
No,
No,
no, because you're
no.
not allowed to say there's certain words you have to change and use on TikTok. Because I did
Okay.
it to you yesterday by accident.
Yes, yes.
So
Let me try to. Okay, so let's we're gonna go to our charade game, which we play charades here on my platform too to try to get our point across. You just got to figure it out, and that's the fun of it. Okay, so there's a D rug
mm-hmm.
that you take, and it's like an aphrodisiac. It's it starts. It's X, the letter
Yes,
X, and
I
then
know
it's
exactly
okay.
what you're saying because I saw it.
Okay,
I
thank
saw
you.
that. I've been, I'm following it, so I've been seeing all
You
her
saw that.
testimony.
You
Yeah,
heard
I know where you're
right,
going.
Okay.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the beginning, he put that in her words, not mine. He put that in her Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's not willingly.
Mm-mm.
She didn't willingly ingest the D rug.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need people to keep those parameters and understand that their lies right there are a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, she did not agree to do that. Now
No, she did not.
afterwards,
Right.
she right. So, but
Mhm.
afterwards, yes, she did, and she admitted to that.
Yes, and she
Afterwards,
said,
she did.
yeah, she said she did it because she wanted to make her man happy, and if that
Right.
wasn't the situation, she didn't want to see him doing that with somebody else. That's what she stated.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's her words. It's her words.
Yes.
Now, she also went on to state that she didn't know how to say no, for the simple fact that she didn't know what would come with her saying no
Hmm.
out of fear.
Yes.
She had already seen the rage. She had already seen
Hmm.
the temper tantrums and stuff like. So, I just want people to keep it in those contexts. Let's not just say, well, she knew she wanted the money, and
Yeah.
because we've dated, right, and so pretty much majority of us have all dated. So when we first meet someone, it's the honeymoon phase. It's
Mm.
everything is cool. So you don't really know their kinks and their ticks and what makes them. You understand? And so by the time these things can present themselves, you've already invested time and you've already fell in love with this person. And so you, I just want people to keep it in a perspective like that. Now, she
I know.
said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I was a teenager, my dad, right before he passed away, he told me to, only get married once in life. And he said, I'd rather you live in sin with somebody for a few years before you get married to see their true skeletons come out of the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Listen,
Facts.
she didn't know what she was getting herself into. Think about it. She was a 19-year-old girl. Even though by law, 18, you're in a consent adult, correct? But
Correct.
my son, he's 18 and he's still very immature, is what I'm trying to say. You're not at 19 years old still. You're an adult and you think like an adult. I'm sorry. It just
Yes.
doesn't sit well with me at all.
Yes. Yes. I agree with you on that.
There's a lot of manipulation and control in a relationship like
Yes.
that. And they make the the victim feel like they can't survive
Hold on.
without them.
And Thea, hold that thought 1 second, love. Pardon my interruption. A reporter is speaking.
Combs. So she is the star witness of this trial, and yesterday she told her story in court. The 38-year-old R&B singer went into excruciating detail about Combs' so-called freak-offs. She told the jury she met Combs at 19 years old and was just 22 when he asked her to participate in the first one, explaining that she felt humiliated and confused, but happy that he was satisfied. Ventura said Combs dictated every aspect of those encounters, which sometimes lasted up to 72 hours, and recorded them as a form of blackmail. She also testified about physical abuse. In 2023, Combs and Ventura reached an 8-figure settlement one day after she accused him of rape in a civil suit. The
We
video
love
of him
TikTok
kicking
Shop.
and dragging her down a hotel hallway is now considered a key piece of evidence. Defense lawyers admitted Combs could be violent, but maintained that everything was consensual. Joshua Rhett Miller, Newsweek's chief investigative reporter, described Diddy's demeanor in the courtroom.
Just like you said before, like a guy came on here saying everything was consensual. No, when you are drugged and you don't know it, that's not. That's not
And,
taking part of
yes.
knowing. So no, no.
Yes.
She stated also that when she was on these drugs, right? Oops,
D-Rugs.
D-rugs. When she was on
Hmm.
these D-rugs, right?
Hmm.
That she didn't feel anything. Like she when you and it's true when you're on some things like what she was on. First of all, that specific drug makes you happy. It puts
Yes.
those things in your head that makes you just feel like, and there was never a time where they were doing this clean, like with nothing. Nothing. People don't even think like that. When you're on the G rug, right?
Hmm.
Your mind ain't there. You're numb.
And,
You don't feel
and
nothing.
well,
It's
well, and that's true. That's true. Hold on 1 second. Perfectly Wildflower. Congratulations on becoming our 13th member. We appreciate you. Yes, and to your point, we again, let's think about it. Let's go. Let's move it past that part. So when people have already been taken advantage of and been put through certain things like this, they end up going and turning to drugs and alcohol in order to try to numb that pain. So you can look look at JB, look at JB and what's going on. All right, uh, O'Brown, he was one. He was So a lot of these people they go to after things have happened to them in the industry, they end up turning to the drugs to try to escape the ordeal or the terror that they went through. So imagine you have a 19-year-old girl who met this guy who can make all of her wildest dreams come true.
come
As
true.
far as the industry.
The
Now I'm talking
business.
about music.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things are done to her. Of, of course, the D rugs is because she never thought of herself being in that way or put in that situation. And so now she's torn between, hey, I want to please this man who I love, but he's also has a temper, and but I'm being degraded, and this is so not what I grew up being, or you see what I'm saying? So
It's all about that dopamine feeling, you know.
right,
When
right,
Yes.
they're being when they're giving that kind, sweet love, they get that dopamine
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
mm-hmm,
That nice love. That's what I'm talking about with this type of stuff that they take. It
That's
makes you
but
feel
I
like
mean
that.
when
Make.
well, but when like when there's a when there's a when there's an abusive relationship like that,
mm-hmm,
it's when the person in control gives that love and kindness and everything, that it gives a dopamine high to the person who's weaker, and
Yes.
mm-hmm.
that's why they try to please
Yes.
the
Hmm.
person in control, because they want to receive that feeling that gives them that dopamine
Yeah.
high.
And Thea, perfectly put.
Listen. She fell in love. She fell in love with a celebrity that was powerful,
Mm-hmm,
and I really believe she loved him in the beginning. She loved him. She's at 19 years old. A mogul comes up to you and wants to do things for you. I mean, who wouldn't want to jump on that opportunity, right?
right. Someone just said love bombing. Yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
Love bombing, exactly.
I
But
love it.
I think as things went on, you know what I'm saying? She felt like she was stuck. I really
Mm-hmm,
feel this girl felt she was stuck because all around her, people are dropping like flies. That has to do with him. Okay.
mm-hmm.
So in her mind, if I leave, if I try to do, to whatever, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my family? I mean, he's threatened people on shows. For an example, Wendy Williams, her son was in the back.
We see. Mm-hmm.
Her son was in the back, and she brought Diddy out. And before she got to say anything, he said, "Oh, I met your son backstage. What a nice, great gentleman." He warned her. You say
Exactly.
anything stupid, come
He
on
just let
now.
her
He
know.
was telling us for years, Wendy.
Yeah.
He got
Wendy
her.
was.
Yes, he got her. Remember when she first came out? He got her kicked off Hot 97.
Yeah. She had to move to Philly. He said she
Exactly.
had to be out of New York. You're right.
So come
Snowbird
on.
24. You're right.
This is why it's so aggravating. Tell me you don't agree when people are talking, right? And they don't got their facts straight. And there's a lot of stuff, misconception being out there. Like people like you and I who follow this stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. It's. I just want people to. I just want people just to put it in perspective. And again, yeah, we
And
definitely,
it
most
just
definitely,
burns me. Go
gotta
ahead.
wait. Till the trial
Yeah.
is over at the conclusion. Let's welcome a new panel guest up. Alex, am I good? Pagan, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. What's up, man? Good morning, everyone.
Welcome,
Good morning.
welcome.
Good morning. How's it going, brother?
Good, good. Can I just chime in real quick, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I know I'm used to social media. I know I can't say some things. I'm not, I'm definitely, I have a son. I don't have a daughter, but either way, I'm not. I'm opposed. I'm against what Diddy done. I'm against that in terms of, putting your hands on a woman and everything.
Right.
But if you're gonna find them guilty, right? I'm not going to find him guilty on the racketeering. He is no John Gotti. He's
Mm-hmm.
not pushing. He's not pushing drugs. He's not a
D
He's not a
Rugs. D Rugs.
right. He's
D-Rugs.
not a mafia guy. He's a self-made billionaire, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He
Correct.
had to have thick skin to get where he's at. He had to be. His mindset had to be at a different level to get where he's at. Now, if you're going to charge him from domestic violence, you got to charge her too. They both were violent. They
Yeah.
both were violent. Believe me.
Oh,
She at
I'm pretty
at a
sure she
point she
was.
was
I'm pretty
at
sure.
a point she was punching back, and
Okay.
she
Well, hold on.
stayed. Go
Hold on,
ahead.
bro. I hate to interrupt you, but I
Yeah.
okay. I see what you're saying, and I'm not discrediting that. I'm not disagreeing with you. what I'm saying is that they're probably, if that was to come up that way, they're probably going to say she was only defending herself. She has
Myself,
a
right?
right to defend herself.
100%.
Got you. I understand. All right, I
That's
got
where
you.
I was gonna go with it. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That's, I get what you're saying, and you're right.
Right,
But
because
I'm just saying,
I don't see no John Gotti. I don't see Puffy. All that money was legal.
Yes, but Alex, like
yeah,
there were so many other things, man. So many other things that orchestrated. And this is bigger than Diddy. When
Right,
this is
it
done, you're
really
gonna see
is.
all the other ones falling, bing, bing, bing,
Yeah.
one by one. And
right,
listen,
right.
Jay-Z right now, he's being protected. Jay-Z is being
Camel
protected.
face, camel face.
Oh, sorry, camel face. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
have
whatever.
Camel face.
I have a
Y'all
question.
wrong.
I have a question.
Yes. What's that, Anthea?
What who do you think it is? What is your guess that that prosecutor or I don't know if it was a prosecutor or hit one of his attorneys that said that there was in a video that they saw that it was the person was a household name. Who do you think the person
Oh, I know what she's
Uh,
talking about.
with the
I,
household
Yes,
name is?
I'm gonna be okay. I don't know, but I'm gonna give you who I think it is. Okay.
I listen. I can't wait to hear what you think.
There's two. I got two candidates
Go
that I
ahead.
believe, and I believe one is going to be. I'm gonna use my little brother's
Mm-hmm.
code word, JLo, and I'm going to say
Yes.
Beehive.
mm,
Mm,
mm.
mm.
And
You
the
know
only
what?
reason,
Are you
the
referring to both female, both be
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Who do they
yes.
say was the male person?
Now, when it comes to the male, who I think it is Camel Face.
Mm,
The only
mm.
reason I bring those, especially Camel Face and the Beehive,
Are you
the only
referring to the Rockefeller person?
Yes. The
yeah,
wife.
we say the record company dealing with rocks, but yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was
But
Oh.
trying to say it. I yeah.
I get it. I know. It's just, see, this is my second account, like my first one, because I was like,
Yeah.
the name of my show is hashtag I'm gonna say it. So that's what we would do. We just
Mm-hmm.
say it.
Mm-hmm.
And we caught flack, and they ended up permanently banning me twice on that account.
Wow.
So I have to, we came up with the solution of just doing this. But the reason why I say those two, if you go back to Kim Porter's book of
Mm-hmm.
her alleged words, she stated that Puffy Jacket and Camel Face were in the room in the bed, and she was thankful that she didn't have to do anything with Camel Face. You understand?
Yeah.
So okay, so now that makes me think it was those two in there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, JLo,
I love how you say that.
because because she was brought up as far as in another, I can't remember who filed the lawsuit, but her name was brought up as well as being
Mm-hmm.
present.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So that's why I say those two.
Listen, you can't
Who do they say that the minor was though?
you can't cut J-Lo out.
Yeah, you cannot, you cannot. Um,
Listen. Go ahead. Who's the
alle-
minor?
allegedly, again, we don't have the facts,
Yeah.
and it really hasn't been
Stated yet.
concrete evident proof. We hadn't seen receipts on it, but although it is alleged that there's a tape out there on the dark market, there's a dark
Yes.
market that they do, but allegedly it was JB.
Justin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's what I heard too. And they listen, they
Quick
got
question.
listen, this is gonna get crazy when I tell you. Yesterday somebody asked me, well, why isn't there like their number one, for the prosecution? Why don't you see Usher and Justin B? They were asking me. I said, listen, it ain't over yet.
Right.
It ain't over.
It's
Anything
not.
could happen. Anything could happen.
Somebody said that they think that they had her go first because she's due to have a baby in a few weeks, and they wanted to hurry up and get her testimony.
Right.
Yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
understand
Oh
that.
yeah,
I
she's
can understand.
huge.
That
She is
security
huge.
guard. That security guard messed everything up at the beginning.
He the thing with the security guard is a lot of the things that he should have put in his original report
Yep.
at the
Mm-hmm.
accident.
Yep.
He didn't. And I'm gonna tell you what really, 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 really got me, Alex, with the security guard
Mm-hmm.
is when he said he made duplicates of the video and showed it to his wife. Like it's like, yo, what was you thinking? Because like
Yeah.
He
you
did
kind
what?
of just told on yourself. You took you had you see what I'm saying?
He said he made copies and took it home to let his wife see it.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yes.
my God.
Alex,
Mm.
man, these people in the world today, I can't
Talking with
even.
JoJo. Hey, bestie. Hey, you know she's awesome on the legal part of it. So,
Okay.
hey, bestie, are you able to come up in the panel? Cause she can, cause and Thea, she can pretty much break down
Oh, I
what he's
love
charged
her.
with.
I love
Yeah.
her. Listen, I have to tell you something. You're like my brother from another mother. I'm happy that I
Oh,
found your
thank you.
podcast because
Hmm.
this, like I told you, this is the passion and love. I wanted to find somebody that was open-minded to everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I
Yes.
found in you. So
I just want to keep it fair.
I
Are
know.
you
Right.
Me
working?
too.
Okay. All right, bestie. She's working right now. She can't come up, but
One,
um,
one thing, real quick, I just want to say mention what Dr. Umar said, he said, all right, you paid her, she signed an NDA.
Hmm.
He said it's kind of illegal to come back on the stand though.
Um.
depending on how long that NDA is,
Yes, you're
Okay.
right.
you
And
understand?
if the courtroom felt that way, she wouldn't be testifying today.
Right.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Is,
So people are saying that, oh, she got paid all this money and this and that. And why is she still being able to testify?
is that
Right.
possibly a reason? Is the reason why the prosecution didn't ask certain questions because of the NDA agreement? Is that a possibility? Why there were only certain questions asked?
It could be
I'm not
because
sure.
it
Wasn't
could be.
her ND wasn't her thing strictly in regards to the violence part,
I think honestly, with
not
when it
the
comes to, but of course, a lot of people focus on the incident that happened with in the video, which is bad in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that that's the sole thing that this case is
It's
about. Even though it's
about.
been turned
Mm-mm.
into that,
Yeah.
this is framework, and this is just my opinion. But I think this is just framework to establish a pattern of behavior of
Yes.
his, and going forward, it's going to lead into how he used his
People
companies
and
and
people.
yeah, and people, right? Because you got to understand, some of his employees or people that work for him, they were responsible for getting things for him.
Listen, I don't know if Alex, if you know how all this came about with Diddy. Like Diddy was groomed from Clyde Davis, Andre Farrell, and Russell Simmons, who left the country. He can't be found. He won't be touched because he's somewhere on the island where they can't come in and get him. Okay.
Right.
Hmm.
This all started with Diddy being groomed.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde Davis,
Yeah,
they're not going to bring him in. He's about to, he's 96 years old. Even personally, I feel if he can talk, he can walk. They should have him. They should,
Right.
I just, it's a lot of people. This is bigger than just Diddy. And yes,
hey
Diddy is
Deb.
100% guilty. He deserves everything that's coming to him. I truly believe that. Um, do I think that everything that they're accusing, like, all the things that they have against him and stuff like that, like the racketeering and stuff like that, I don't know how I feel about that because I think what Alex was saying is right. Listen, he definitely had a lot of drugs around him, but
D
I
Ruggs.
don't think that he was.
D Ruggs.
Oof.
But hold on one second, Shishelle.
Diva.
Let me
Yeah, okay,
see.
I'm
I
sorry.
think
Go ahead.
she's no, you fine. I think she's giving um,
Testimony. Okay.
a
Yeah,
report.
so one of our reporters, Michelle Ross, was inside the courtroom. She's going in there every single day. He didn't actually speak to her. He made eye contact with her. She is 7 months pregnant, so he mouthed to her, "How are you? How are you feeling?" And that has sort of been his demeanor throughout this entire trial so far, a sort of confidence and trying to befriend everybody inside the courtroom, even making eye contact with the jury. And our reporter posted about it. It actually went viral. She really couldn't believe what she was seeing, that he was speaking to her, because this is a music mogul you're used to seeing on television and in the tabloids. And now he is part of this major federal case.
In some crazy way, and I'm going to say it, and people are going to think I'm crazy. I think he loved her in some way. I don't know.
No, he did. Yeah, I believe he did.
I think he loved Cassie in a way. I think he was infatuated with her. I think he, like she said, he would have to, everything she did, he was there. For her to get a tattoo, he had to be
All right,
there.
all right, but this what I don't understand, right? This is what I don't understand. Say if I have a girlfriend, right? I have a girlfriend, and I want to invite somebody else in the room, right? I mean, they had an 11-year relationship, but I'm gonna be honest. This case is so difficult for me, man. It's difficult.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck
Because,
that goddamn period
Hold on.
shit,
Wait,
nigga.
whoa.
oh,
Buffalo. Hold on, brother. We can't come in like that.
That's
oh,
me, nigga. I'm a green belt.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. So apparently he's came up with and can't follow the rules. Can't follow the rules. You can't stay. All right.
yeah. I'm not like I said. He didn't even see. He was not on when I came on because I do not agree with the touching of a woman. Hitting on a woman.
Yeah.
But what got me is the 11-year relationship, and all of a sudden you decide to leave with someone else.
Hmm.
Why didn't you leave before?
Luna.
Well, you talking about pertaining to Cassie? Why she didn't leave?
Right. Why she didn't leave
Okay.
before? Because you left. He got you a trainer. You fell in love with the trainer. He didn't stop you. You left with the trainer.
Well, I don't know if the trainer was able to get her away from in a position that she was definitely safe and away from
No, here, this
puppy
is
jacket or what. I don't know.
Alex. Yes, she met the trainer. She was friends with him. They didn't just like meet, okay, after the fact. They met. She knew him before. He was her trainer. And she ended up falling in love with him. And listen, then all that thing came out where she had to, Diddy and all that. The video came out right after that. You
Gotcha.
know what I mean? Came out right after that. And then when he was, what he did to her at the hotel. And then Diddy
Right.
literally came on national to the world and said that he was sorry. You saw that video.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
wasn't no
yeah.
I
sorry. There was
did.
not one sorry in
Yeah.
his eyes. He just wanted to come out there because now he knew he's
It
being
was all
exposed to
out.
everything. Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Hold on. Let me welcome my two new panel guests. I think that's
Yes.
Straight Facts, No Chaser. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Welcome,
good?
brother.
Welcome,
And then
welcome.
Thank
talking
you.
with JoJo, she's on. Straight Facts. Let me get with JoJo real quick because she's at work and I know she can't talk. So and then
No
I'm gonna
doubt.
come to you. Okay.
No doubt.
Okay. Hey Bestie, how
Hey,
you
you
doing?
know, I couldn't help myself. I just took a 5 minute break. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
this is the thing, Cassie. It was all part of the coercive control that they're not really allowed to use that term in the courtroom. The
Okay.
coercive control was, the fact that he was providing to her, and it wasn't only money, it was housing, food, we know lots of drinks and
Mm-hmm.
candy, right? So
Clearly.
that's all part of the coercive control. When you're in a relationship like that and you're being treated in that manner, you're afraid. And the fact that she had to be afraid for 11 years,
Mm-hmm.
that's sad.
That is.
And I agree with you 100%. And that's what I've been trying to say because a lot of people are like, well, why didn't she leave him? Fear. He
It's
had
not that
power.
easy.
He
It's
had
not that
power over
easy.
her. She's a victim just like everybody else. It is what it
Yeah.
is. Like he, it's bigger than Diddy.
Right.
Way
Oh, it's
bigger.
Right.
definitely bigger than Diddy. And I agree with the whole Clive stuff. I mean, we've been
Yes.
saying it for years. We've been saying it since Whitney Houston passed. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
it's just,
Mm-hmm.
you can't, there's so much that goes on in this industry that we're just all finding out. And like we've said before, Mr. B, I said it too. It's been going on for years and years. You can go
Mm-hmm.
back to the early 40s and the casting couch.
Mhm.
It's just evolved. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's
Mhm.
become to the point where it's being called out in a criminal way. And
Mm-hmm.
so it
Right.
should be.
Right.
100%. I agree with you.
Right.
I
I
agree.
Thank
see. I
you.
see a lot
I've
of
been
people
agreeing with you
saying.
too. That's why I had to come up.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate that talking with
This
JoJo.
is what I
So
do. This is my love, just like it's his love. And I told him when I found him, which was literally yesterday, right?
right.
I
Right.
just, and then there was another woman, I forget her name. She's also
Thank
amazing.
you.
Um, and it's you have to look at it from both sides, right? And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody. But don't sit here and make it seem like this poor girl when she was 19 years old. People are saying, well, at 18, you're legal. Your brain ain't like I explained to him. Your brain is not an adult at 19. I have children.
Exactly.
I have
Mhm.
children. The
Yep.
girl stayed with him out of fear. She was in love with him. She wanted to show him and make him happy. This man,
His children just showed up to court. Somebody was asking if his kids were there. Yes, they all just showed up. Okay.
Can I
and
can
it's
I can I
sad.
say something?
Yes.
So I just want to say this. Like, I understand people are looking at Cassie as a victim. I get it. I understand that. But you gotta understand this. We move goalposts a lot for the things that we want to do. When we tell kids that at 18, you're an adult, you can go into the military, you can rent an apartment, you can vote, you can do all types of things right there. You're an adult. But when it comes to certain things, then your brain is not psychologically ready. So I'm looking at it like this. If we're gonna play that game, then the things that we should allow kids to do when they're 18, we shouldn't allow them to do until we decide when they're psychologically ready.
I
Because we
agree.
have kids.
I agree.
Wait a minute. We have kids at 18 years old, right? We have kids at 18 years old messing with millions of dollars in military equipment. You have people that are pilots at 20 years old piloting $35 million aircraft.
Right.
We have people, we have kids like, 22 years old becoming leaders in the military, being lieutenants and captains and things like that. So we can't say on one hand that they're not psychologically ready to do things, but then they're psychologically ready to do other things. And then on top of that, like Cassie, you can say that she was in fear or whatever. She was in fear of losing the lifestyle. If you are in a relationship and you are in a toxic relationship and you see that it's toxic, you know what I'm saying? You can leave. Like it's just hard for me to understand, like
Why she didn't
how
leave?
It
fearful you were. You can slip out. You can leave. You can pack up your things in the middle of the night and go. We've seen women and men do that many times, saying, you know what? If he's awake, it's this, that, and the third. I'm gonna get out of here when I get an opening. And then she stayed for 10 years, taking gifts, taking trips, getting apartments, taking money. It makes it hard for me to believe that she's a victim because I believe you endure what you allow. You
Okay.
endure
Okay, so
what
you
you
obviously have
allow.
never been in
Hold
a
on.
domestic violence relationship
Hold on,
then,
straight
because
face.
that's
Yeah.
how they work.
May I say
How they work.
something?
You endure what you allow.
Here's a
Myself,
That's not
Go
my
true,
ahead.
my friend.
No,
myself
But
I
go
don't
ahead.
agree at
personally,
all.
myself.
Okay.
You obviously haven't been in a domestic violence relationship. See, I have. I was in one for 10 years
And
myself.
did you allow
And
did you allow that abuse to go on?
Hold on,
the
Anthea. We
abuse
got
to
you.
go
Hold on.
on for my children. Yes, I did because I didn't want them to not have a dad until I got the strength to leave. But it took me 10
Then
years.
point
So I have a
blank, you
lot of
allowed it
sympathy for
though.
Cassie.
A point blank,
I
you allowed it. I'm sorry for what you went through, but you allowed it, man.
I think
So he's trying to
here's
say that
go ahead.
you're an enabler. That's what he's trying to say, because that's the same type of word.
Yeah,
You
pretty
allowed
much.
it.
Well,
Cassie
I
didn't stay
And
with
I
him.
didn't allow it. He's not wrong there. But at the
Right.
same time, there were circumstances. There were financial circumstances. There were reasons that I couldn't just walk away.
Can I
So
ask you a
unless you've been
question?
in that situation and you don't know, everybody's story is different. You can't sit here and
that's what I
say
was gonna
that.
say.
That to me is just, that's like disrespecting
Can I
people that
ask you
have
a
been in
Can
that
I ask you a
situation.
question? Can I ask you a question?
Well, he's a man,
Sure, sure.
So no, it's not about being a man. Let me ask you a question. Are your children the most important thing in your life to you?
Of course.
So if you
Yep.
felt that your children were in danger, would you get them out of any situation that you felt they were going to be in danger?
Absolutely. That's why I
So
left
if
when I
that's so, if
did.
that's so, then that's the case. Then why did you stay with a person that was
Okay.
abusing you?
Let me
If they
let me
thought,
answer this real
if you
quick for
felt that
straight
they were going to
facts.
be in danger.
Okay.
All right.
So
Can everybody just?
straight facts. You have let me put it to you. It's like this, brother. Different people have different stages of fear, right?
Bingo.
And so even though you're saying, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna put it to you this way. I don't know you, but just from here, you sound like a brother that don't put up with nothing. If you don't agree with it, boom, you're gone. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, hold on. I've been with a girl who I'm not with her no more. I'm married. But what I'm saying is, I've dated a girl who I knew wasn't good, but I chose to stay, thinking it would get better,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that we could get past that, but you see what I'm saying? But now you and I have different limitations on how long we're going to stay and see something through.
Yeah.
So
Different.
each individual, okay, the same woman I'm talking about, I have 5 kids by, and her ex beat her, and I was like you, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? But I couldn't understand why she would stay with somebody who wasn't good to her, who didn't care about her. But I also know that that same person who sacrificed her body to give me 5 kids, this man broke her ribs. This man knocked her out in front of company, left her laying in the floor, and went back to playing a video game. So I understood the fear.
Mm-hmm.
But now she did get to a point to where she got enough courage to leave. Unfortunately, she only lived 2 years after. I mean, but the thing about it is, brother, I was where you were at one point in time, but I had to understand
That comes.
Stockholm syndrome is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, but I understand what you're saying with Stockholm syndrome. I get it. I understand that, man. I understand that. But then on top of that, like I'll put it like this: I have 2 girls, right? I have 2 girls, and because the way the world is right now, I consistently ingrain into my girls. I consistently tell them every single day. If you see something or feel something that isn't right, you get away, you call me, you call your mother. If we're not available, you call your grandfather, you call your parents, you call us. If you need anything, you do this. I tell my daughters to be vocal. My oldest daughter is very strong minded, and I love that about her because she will tell you to your face if something's wrong. I don't like that. I don't think this is right. This isn't fair. I want to see why this is it. And I'm trying to do this because I don't want situations where she gets into a thing where she feels that she has to stay for being uncomfortable. Even with boyfriends. I tell her when you grow up and you get boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever you deal with, if they're giving you some bullshit and you think it's bullshit and you think it's not right, get the fuck out.
But
You know,
here's the
I mean
thing,
the
though.
curse, but get out
Yeah,
because I don't want you in a situation where it can harm you. Call
Mm-hmm.
me if you feel weird about something. Call me, and that's the thing right now. We want to play both sides. We want to say, okay, people are strong and this and that, and then you want to, and then on the other side, we want to cling to victimhood and stuff like that. At the same time, you can't have it both ways. You can't
well,
be strong,
it's
independent, and be a victim
Okay,
at the same time. You
okay.
can't.
Okay.
I'm going to interject.
Go ahead, hon.
Um, myself, it's a slow progression. That's probably why it took 3 years for him to involve her in her first experience with that type of
Yeah.
situation,
4 years.
because it's a slow involvement of manipulation and control.
He
And
pulled her in.
when there's an abusive relationship, that person will, like I said earlier, will create that the controlling person will give the weaker person a dopamine high, and they will make them feel like they're number one, like they're the most precious everything. And then when they start their bad behavior, then after the bad behavior, and they'll say, "Oh baby, I'm so sorry, it'll never happen again, I love you so
yeah,
much," and they'll give that person that dopamine high again, and they'll think, okay, it's not going to happen again. And eventually, it becomes a vicious cycle. And that's what happens. No
ten
woman, no
years.
man, they don't want to be a victim.
I'm gonna go. I don't mean to interrupt you. We're gonna go for 2 more minutes, and then I got 8 people waiting in queue. I'm gonna have to bring new guests up. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm
I'm
gonna go take
actually
a
going to
shower.
step down, Mr.
Me too.
B, because I have to go back to
Okay.
work. But
Oh
I
yeah,
just
Bessie,
wanted
you
to
at work.
say
That's
the
right.
straight facts. You're a really great
Mhm.
dad, teaching you girls that to
Thank
be
you,
that way because that's what we need.
Absolutely.
thank you,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you
But
can
You
that's
lay
are.
why.
down. I love you guys.
Yep.
All
But
right. We
that's
love
why.
you.
But that's
Have a
why.
good day at
Bye.
work.
But
Thanks.
that's why I have a hard time, man. Sometimes, man, I have a hard
Well,
time because I'm looking at it and I'm like, 10 years. You stay for 10 years, like I'm here right now. Like, where were her parents? Because she
Yeah.
had them. She has a mommy and she has a mother and father. Where were her parents?
Okay,
Yes.
You know,
so
where were
straight
they?
Hold on,
facts. Your the things you tell your daughters, my father told to me. Okay, and when my father was alive, everything was in queue. But when my father passed away, that's when the abuse started. And I ended up feeling stuck in that relationship because I had kids. And my mother was the one that said, well, you don't want to be a single mother with your children, because what's that going to do if you break up your family? So I never
But
married him. I never married him, but I had a stranger one day tell me at my job. He looked at me and he said, "You have kids, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, and I never met this man. I never saw this man again after that. He said to me, "Do you want your son to become like that, or do you want your daughters to end up with somebody like that?" Now, I had no bruises or anything on me. Okay.
so
Now,
here, so
this
here's the
man
correlation.
knew this man knew that I was being abused at home.
Yes,
And that very next morning, I had the police remove him from my home, and that was it.
yes. So here's the correlation with a lot of the
okay,
panelists.
we're gonna end with straight
I was gonna
facts,
say
and then I'm gonna
last
change.
thing.
Hold on,
I
straight
got,
facts. I'm gonna let him speak, and then I'm gonna have to drop you all down and bring the new ones up. And then
that's
if you
Okay.
cool.
want to come back, I'll
That's
bring you
cool.
guys up.
I just
I'll
want
talk
to
to
say.
you soon,
Thank you.
okay?
Thank
That's
you
what I'm
very
saying.
much.
All right,
And
thank you.
and I'll
The
just keep listening in on the feed, but I got to check my trades.
yeah, the
Okay,
Great
thank
correlation.
day,
you.
okay? Thank you.
Mhm.
So the
Thank you.
correlation with a lot of the panelists are that they had children and they could not leave because they had children. Cassie had no children with Diddy. She had no children with him. So if you have no
I'll give you
children,
that.
there's no emotional, there's no like children bond to that. I understand a lot of women stay in horrible relationships because of the kids. They don't want their kids to be separated from the parent. They don't want that. But Cassie had no kids. She had no kids with Diddy. But she had with Diddy was a lifestyle, was a affluent, extravagant lifestyle. Being able to
But straight
fly to
facts.
different places, being able to
I
do this, do that, and the third. And she was addicted to that. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, she didn't want to lose that. Who wants to lose going on private jets, getting Birkin bags? You know what I'm saying? Being flown to different places, having, access to billions of dollars. Like that's what, I'm saying, what stops me from really feeling sorry for her. You wanted that lifestyle. You did everything you could to keep that lifestyle. If you were really scared about things and scared for your life, you would have either called the police, you would have left to call the police, and you would have got it handled. She wanted to be in that lifestyle. And like, to be honest, the last thing I'm going to say is, all this stuff that was happening, she wasn't, complaining when Kim Porter was going through it, because she was there being the side chick when Kim Porter was there, and Kim Porter was warning her about what was going on. Like, you
Well,
were totally fine then.
you could
you
blame.
can't
You could
say
say the
that
same
though.
thing for J. Ello. She was there too, and Kim Porter was there. But I'm just saying.
Exactly. But that's
But
the
but I'm.
Can I suggest that Straight Facts Google why victims stay long as they do, and maybe you can get some insight from professionals instead of going off the fact that you're a strong individual, viewing it from a strong
Thank you
individual's
for that
point of
heartmeat.
Yeah.
because
Straight facts. My
you're
mom
Hey,
gonna
was
have a
straight
different
facts.
straight
you're
facts.
gonna
My
Can
have
I
brother.
can
a
I say
I'm
something
going.
to
you're
him,
gonna have
G,
a
really
different
fast?
view. You're
Because
gonna
I,
have a
Absolutely.
I can't.
different
I gotta go
view
back
Go
to
of
ahead,
sleep.
being
man.
a
So
You can
strong
do what you got to
Hold
do.
individual.
on, hold on. Mute your mics. Angel's got to go back to work. We're gonna let her say something so she can get back to work. We
Mine
don't
will
want to get in
not
trouble.
let mine won't let me mute.
no,
Okay,
you're
I
you're
got you,
you're okay,
love. I
Simi.
got you.
Straight facts. So my
Mhm.
mom was in a 10-year abusive relationship with my biological father. My grandparents were not supportive. My grandparents did not believe my mom. My grandparents never assisted anything except dropping me off
Thank you,
and
bestie.
when I was young and staying with them for the weekend while he beat my mom. I woke up one time to a bowling ball sized hole in our bathroom door, the shower rod gone, and I was like, what happened to our house? I was literally 4 or 5. That was my pretty much almost my youngest memory of it. I woke up one time to the ambulance at my house, and my mom was 25 years old having a stroke on our couch because he beat her so bad and left.
Mm,
She
mm, mm.
stayed because of me. She stayed because nobody believed her. It took her getting a new job for all of a sudden for it to snap. I grew up saying I would never let this happen to me. Fast forward to 2013 when I married. And unfortunately for me, I fell into that trap. Did he put hands on me? No. It was 100% mental and psychological abuse. And I did stay. I stayed because my mom said, he's perfect. Why would you want to leave it? Until I found out I was pregnant not once or twice and lost both my kids. It's not easy when you have a person break you down and the first year or first 2 years, everything's fine and perfect. Everything's great. He's telling you everything you want to hear. Is every man like that? No. But you stay because you do think it's going to get better. Because the promise of counseling, the promise of I'll never put hands on you again, the promise of it's going to get better. And you believe it. You believe it's going to get better. And for a small portion, it does. I just left a 6-year relationship now. Fast forward now. He put hands on me 3 times. My cousin says he does it again. I'm coming over there. But the problem is also is you don't hold on a second, because I've listened to you, sir, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I want you to hear a person that has been through this multiple times and is still trying to leave it and put it behind me, because I want to believe there's blessings ahead and there's a person out there for me. But you have to understand, it's not always easy, because the same people that are telling you to leave are the same people that don't have their hand out when you're ready to leave to go and find another place to stay.
Exactly.
Or when you're ready to leave and there is no person out there with an extra room and you're trying to put all your necessities together to move in this economy. And you're trying to keep your job. You're trying to put a smile on your face. So for me to say I can't believe her, I do believe Cassie. So just because she has the glitz, the glamour,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
clothing, the money, it doesn't mean she has access to it. It doesn't mean she still has her passport. It doesn't mean she deserves to get what she's getting right now. So you have to put yourself in a woman's shoes, because sometimes we don't have a place to go. But yet you want us to leave, and we're trying to.
Listen, I'm
So
gonna be
please
honest.
all I'm going to say, because I do have to drop, is have a little compassion and sympathy for the ladies out there. Because God
Exactly.
forbid, if your daughter's hiding a secret, and that
Right.
secret is DV,
Right.
and you don't know it, and you're going to
Right.
sit here and ask her the same questions of, why didn't you leave? And she's going to say, Daddy, it's not that easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put it like
Hey,
this: if my
hold
daughter
on.
was ever,
Thank you, G.
if my
Hey,
daughter,
thank you, Angel. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
put
you.
it.
Everybody, W Angel in the live, and
This is the last thing. This is the last thing I'm gonna say before I go, because I got to get to work too. If
okay,
my daughter was ever to say, "Daddy," you know what I'm saying, it's hard to leave for DV. I'm literally going over there. I'm taking her stuff, and she's gonna come with me. Now, for her
She's not
basically
gonna
saying
tell
it.
you,
Wait a minute. For
sir.
her
That's the
basically
point.
hold on,
saying it.
hold on,
For her
Treasure. Hold on,
basically
Treasure.
saying it.
I'm gonna
It
let you
basically
talk
just
after Sam.
goes. It basically just goes back to the correlation of kids and family again. A lot of kids, a lot of mothers are not going to leave abusive relationships because of kids. But if you don't have kids, I don't
Got you.
understand why it's not easier to just pack your stuff up and go. And pack
The
your stuff
fact
up
that you
and
So,
say
go.
you don't
okay, hold
Like
on.
you're
understand is the
staying
main
Okay,
thing.
okay.
because you want
Hold
something
on.
Can
out of the
can I
Straight
relationship.
speak
facts.
for a
Straight
second
facts.
before you go?
The
I want
main
Hold,
listen,
hold on. Hold on. Straight
listen,
facts.
listen for
Let
one
Sam
second.
respond real quick, and
So
then
I've been in an abusive relationship, and the lady that is sitting right next to me, she's one of my best friends, and she became my best friend because of the situation that I go through with my baby dad. Um, my baby dad is my abuser. He has put his hands on me. He verbally abuses me. He's done it in front of my kids, and the even just feeling like you can't escape. Because I live like I literally live with it every day, and I try to shield my daughter. Like, he doesn't hurt her. He's not abusive towards her. She's very established with him, but it's the way that he treats me. And I'm sorry, like, I get very
it's okay.
um
Take your time. Take your time.
so like the I can't say the word, but the when
Manipulation.
yeah, it's like, oh my God, I mean, she can tell you it's 100. Like, he can be so supportive 1 minute, and and you get a high off of that, because when you're a single mom, no joke, and it like it's hard. It really is. Out here, it is hard. Ohio right now, like, shit's so, sorry for my language, but it's so expensive out here. It's unbelievable for a single mom. And when you have a dad that doesn't help, doesn't, and then also verbally tells you that you're a piece of crap because you reach out for help and you're like, hey, I need you to take her for, a couple hours. Can you help me? You know what I mean? And I'm a piece of crap for it.
Yeah.
So so I am like, that's why I believe Cassie, because like I said, you get a high off of when somebody who's a manipulator wants the mind games. Like, you get a high because you want that. You know what I'm saying? Because you love that person and you just want that person to be better. Like, I don't know if I've said that well enough, but
Yeah, you
that's
did.
my experience. You know what I mean? And like I said, my girl can back me up because she was my neighbor.
Oh,
And that
she's
man
seen
like
it.
pulled, yeah, like he pulled up all because I filed for child support. He pulled up on pulled his truck on my doorstep while my daughter was sitting in the window. And, like, even with the police and stuff like that, like, he's taken her to where I've had to get the school involved. And thank God for the principal, because if it wasn't for him, I would have got my daughter back, because I even went to the police. You know what I mean?
That's
So
crazy.
it is. It's wild, and so yeah, I kind of believe her in some of this stuff. I do, because
I gotta go, brother, man, because I gotta work right
Straightforward,
now. But
straightforward. Would you
you
do me a
know,
favor though? Would you please Google why victims stay, and it may enlighten you, because like I say, you're looking from a strong point of view, and you're looking from black and white. My daughter would tell me the most people whose children have been or end up in abusive relationships will tell you, I never knew. They never said anything. They hide this. This is why it's able to go on as long as it does. So just educate yourself on that, and maybe you'll get some insight on it. But just cut and dry and say, why don't they do this, why don't they do that? There is documents out there, or research out there that shows that this is not uncommon, and that it does happen, and that empowering people is not by saying what you should have did, it's understanding why they stayed.
I don't know.
And the
I
mindset,
can agree
just
with you
be
on some of
open
those
to it.
points,
Just be
but
open to it.
like I said before,
Just
I
be
just
open
feel
to
that
it
a
is all
lot of
I ask.
excuse. I feel like a
I know
lot of
what you feel.
excuses are being made,
You're
and
feeling
I'm
like
just
that
like,
without you're
Sir,
feeling like
can I
that
say
without doing the
something
due
to you?
diligence. You're feeling like that without even
until
trying
you
to look to see.
until he actually goes through it, I don't think he will really
It's not even
understand
about going
it.
through
You
it.
know what I mean?
It's not even about
It's
going
about
through it.
having
It's about
empathy and
educating yourself
sympathy for
on
people.
why an individual will do that. He's looking from a point of someone that's strong and it won't happen to them. But you're not looking. So there is lots of evidence out there. If people are doing it, there's a reason. This compiled studies. It will show you that it's not uncommon. And if it's not uncommon, the problem isn't as simple as why don't you just leave?
Abusers know who to
hey,
choose,
I know.
sir.
hey,
Let
the
me just
last thing
say
I'm gonna
this.
say is I gotta go to work.
I,
Ladies,
I,
if you're in an abusive relationship, don't stay. Get out. Cause if you feel something's happening, call the police. Get some help. Even if you gotta, go to the police station and ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Go there and do it. They have resources to help you get there. There's no
hey,
reason to
that's
stay in an abusive relationship
listen.
if you know what I'm saying, if it's bad.
Straight
There's no
facts. I know you
reason.
got to get to work. Okay, but do this. I appreciate what you're saying. That's definitely good information, my man. But do me a favor, brother. On the same token, also go and look into that. The
All right,
information
no
she
doubt.
gave you. All right, brother. Hey, peace and
All right, man.
salute to you, man. Take care.
No doubt, man.
All right, I got some more. Hey, first of all, thank you all for being with us. I appreciate you joining the hashtag. I'm gonna say it. Remember, people, when you come up in the box, we got to keep it respectful. All right, we're gonna let people talk, and then when they finish, we'll go to the next. Um, I don't know. Do I need to put a time limit on how long people can talk or whatnot? Put a one in the live if we need to put a time limit on it, because I want people to get their opinions and stuff out. Right. I want to do that, but I want everybody to be heard. So in order for that to happen, we got to be respectful. We got to be respectful. All right. That's the only way this works, people. Okay. Okay. So I got more ones than twos. So here's what we're gonna do. When you come, I'm about to bring a um new guest up. To my new guest that I'm about to bring up, listen to me. If you're not talking, if it's not your turn to talk, please leave your mics on mute. And for the person that is talking, we're gonna let you rock for like 2 minutes. And then yeah, for 2 minutes, we're gonna let you rock. And then we gotta move on, okay? Because we got people waiting in queue. All right? Let's go. Hold on 1 second, Rochelle. We're gonna get our panelists in here. Okay, make sure you mute your mic. We're gonna start with Rochelle first.
I just wanted to say good morning, Smooth. First of
Hey,
all,
good
to
morning, Messy. How
everybody
you
else.
doing?
I just wanted to let everyone know that I spent 20 years in an abusive relationship. If I have one word of advice for any of these people out there, listen to your children. Listen to your children. If I had listened to my children, I would have been gone many years before I left that doorstep. And
Mm-hmm.
these guys are sick. That's it, period. They're sick. They're sick. You don't want sick, keep on moving.
I
Period.
agree with you on that. Let's W Rochelle in the live, y'all. Facts.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Rochelle.
I think I'm already at the point because we had so many conversations over this. There's going to be
It's okay.
I know, but there's going to be people that are always going to pull to the left and to the right, right? Everybody has their own opinions. But like I stated to you before, this case is so much bigger than just Diddy, okay? Everything he's done, 100% he deserves to really rot in jail for the rest of his life, okay? He is not innocent. Even when they say it's proven guilty, he's not. There's too much stuff that's come out. And like I told you before, the truth,
Mm-hmm.
everything's coming out. Everything's going to come out. So
It will.
we're just gonna wait till this is all over, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Thank you for the heart me. Yeah, you're right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And you're right. It will. It definitely will. It definitely will.
You know,
Jason?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you fine. Oh, you got one more minute. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
It's on
okay.
52. You
And
got one
then
more.
the guy that came to that was just on here and just talking about like the same thing we talked about. Why do women stay? Like that wonderful woman who came on and said to him, "Look it up, Google it. If you're not really 100% sure why women stay, look it up." And then another girl said, "Oh, she stayed for the money and this and that." Listen, it was pure abuse what was going on. I feel like she was 19. He knew what he was going to do. It took him 4 years, but he knew. Right? And like we discussed, how the mind at 19 years old isn't 100% an adult yet. Even when I was 18, my mind wasn't there, what I wanted to do, where I was going, before I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, she stayed out of fear.
There's a
She stayed out of fear and she wanted to impress him. The girl got up on the stand and told told her truth. I'm not saying she never hit him back. But literally,
No.
when you get beat up or you get abused by somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
People tend to, she was probably defending herself.
there's a
I
certain
agree.
Here's
Well,
Joe. Go ahead.
I
no, there's
agree.
a certain type of comfortability in being uncomfortable. When you don't know no better, you go back to what you're used to. So when something's new and great, we go back to the abusive part because that's what's familiar to us. There's a certain type of comfortability in being uncomfortable. And that's why a lot of abusive relationships, men and women, go back to their abusers because they're comfortable with it. Even though it's uncomfortable, they're comfortable with it.
I have to agree. I got to move on, but I agree with you, brother. It's the same as it's like the familiar stranger.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
so I got to move on, but I appreciate that. Jason, you next.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to say, to Straight Facts and or the guy before and everybody who is talking about, oh, my daughter would never because I would go and I would put my hands on the car or whatever. Like, I just wanted to share that people don't learn by hearing what you say. They learn by seeing how you act and seeing what you do in a real life. So when you're
Yeah.
talking about, when you say, you can say, oh, I would protect you all day, whatever. It does not, that is way, way less important than them hearing you talk about this Diddy case and hearing you talk about the way that, and hearing the way that you talk about Cassie and hearing the way that you don't believe victims of DV, and they hear and they see all of these things that are actually happening in real life. And so when they actually are become victims themselves, all they have to really go on is the way that you treated other people. And so exactly the experience. So I just wanted to, for everybody's sake, for the sake of your own family and for the people and especially for the women around you, we have to really take a step back and see how the young people in our lives are going to interpret what we're actually doing and what we're actually saying, and not just what we say, what no, not just what we pretend that we would do. So that's all.
I agree with you on that. I appreciate that, Jason. That was well said too, and I
Thank you.
really appreciate you, man. You're welcome to come back anytime you like.
Appreciate it.
All right, peace and blessings, brother. Take care.
You too. Thanks.
Is that Gina? I think it's Gina.
Yes. Good
Hey,
morning.
Gina.
Good morning.
Morning. Good
Thanks for
morning.
having me.
Thank you for coming.
My I wanted to respond to straight facts and also give a little bit of personal information about this topic. For one, Cassie was 21. Even if she was 55, right? This man has enough money and power to make sure she doesn't leave. I don't care what he was buying her, supplying her with, and I don't care if she loved it.
Hmm.
Even if she wanted to get out, she knew that man had enough power and money to make sure she came back. So, what was the use of even trying? As a 21, 22, 23, 24, 55, that baby had no way out.
Yeah.
And now to him being the strong father and he wouldn't allow this and allow that, my brother beat my niece's boyfriend to a pulp, sent my niece down here to North Carolina from New York, sent her to North Carolina to my house. While my family and I was asleep, my niece took my money, got a Greyhound bus. She ain't never been to North Carolina in her life. Got a Greyhound bus, somehow held down some family that took her to Greyhound, and she went back to the abuser.
And that's the thing. It's the
Love
familiar.
is a different beast. I don't care what your mother, father, grandfather, whoever is telling you. You could be as strong as you think you want to be. And guess what? You're going to still have to go back and pick up your daughter from that abuser's house.
Mr.
That's true.
Smooth.
That's true. That's true. Who's next? Let's see.
Mr.
I
Smooth, you want
appreciate
to
it.
say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you say Alex?
Yeah, I logged off real quick, but I was listening to a lawyer, and the lawyer said that she should have signed an immunity
Hmm.
because he was saying that she's pretty much taking a stand, but in a way, she's kind of like criminating herself too.
How is that?
That's what I'm trying to understand because she was. It's. I'm not a lawyer, but she should have signed documents saying if I'm going to take the stand, I just want to make sure that everything that I say is not going to come back against me in terms of on the criminal side. In terms of
Hmm.
when she was saying I'm the one that gave him the money, I'm the one that was at the door, I'm the one that was doing this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did hear her say that. Uh huh.
Immunity is
Yeah,
what it's
Um,
called. Immunity.
I think um that was her. She's basically saying she did that out of fear too. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying she. I'm just trying to tell you what I think. That's why she was in that position. And I'm gonna be honest with you. First of all, before I finish that, Gina, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Um, I think Puffy Jacket was smart in having people basically handle and do all of these things. So when it did, or if it ever did come to light, which as we see it has, but if it ever did come to light, his hands wouldn't be dirty. He wouldn't have his hand caught in the cookie jar. You get me?
Right.
So I think two things could be right, but I think that she did that. He put her in a position to do that, and he was smart for doing it because now he can always say, "Well, I didn't do it. She did. Look, she was going along with it." Although he was forcing her to do it. I'm not saying he. I'm just trying to paint the narrative. Kind of create a scenario.
Got you.
That's
Okay,
all.
yeah, that's
That's
all
all,
I
brother.
want to say. That's all I want to
All
say.
right. I appreciate that, Alex. Thank you for coming up, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'll drop you down. Next is going to be voices. I can't see the rest of it.
Good morning, beautiful people. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Queen?
Awesome. So, thank you so much for on this topic, which
Hello?
is a very
Oh, there you
sensitive.
go.
Hello.
You're cutting out on us.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So, thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit of my observation of this situation, which is very, very heavy. So, I'm only speaking from a clinical position. So, I'm a clinical.
Hold on one second, voices. I don't want you to lose your time, but can you go somewhere? Because you keep cutting, and we're trying to hear what you're saying, but you're in and out, and I feel like you got something good to say.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes, thank you.
Can Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying, and I'm sorry for I'm not sure what the issue is, but I was saying as a clinical counselor and looking at this situation with Cassie and Diddy, we have to be very careful the position we take on judging both sides of the situation. One, yes, is Diddy absolutely wrong in his behavior? Sure, he is. Absolutely. Power and control. This is a grown man seeking relationships on many different levels with a young woman, right? And having that power over her. People asking the question, why didn't Cassie leave? Well, that's very hard to ask a question when you're so entangled in a very sticky situation.
Right. I
Cassie was
agree.
entangled in a very personal and professional situation, and Diddy reaped the benefit of that while she did not. The other part that I want to share with people is I don't think it's wrong by asking the question, why didn't Cassie leave? It's how you ask that question. We'll never understand from the victim's position what was the mindset why they didn't leave. So we need to not crucify people by saying, why didn't she leave? It's how we ask the question.
Love that.
Because Cassie is the only one knows why she didn't leave this abusive relationship after being in it for 10 years. Was there some benefit from her position Absolutely. He treated her like a queen, but also treated her like trash.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? So we have to be careful about telling people you should have left. And we also have to be careful about saying to people, why didn't you leave?
Yeah.
It's a very peculiar situation. And unfortunately, Diddy is going to probably do a lot of time in jail based on his behavior with this woman. I don't think they have him on a RICO case, but I definitely believe they got him on other charges.
I appreciate that, voices. Thank you so much, and I do agree with you on that. I mean, it's always easier to say something when you're on the outside looking in. It's the person that's on the inside who it's hard for them to see the way out. So I agree with what you're
Absolutely.
saying, and I appreciate your comments.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm gonna drop you down. You have a good day.
You too.
Corey, is that Corey? No,
Yes,
Corey.
Corey. It's Corey.
Corey.
What's up,
Okay.
man?
Hey, Corey.
How you doing?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I just wanted to say we gotta go way back, years and years, with the development of this man and his mentality and the things he got away with. We talking about from the very beginning with the Pac and Biggie, and it's a deep rabbit hole, and the Whitney Houstons. You understand what I'm saying?
Shout out to Cuz. Yeah.
All this
Rest in
stuff
peace.
is intertwined. Real talk. And see, the thing about it, you got to think it's easier for a person to get away with murder when it's dealing with
Deletion.
medication. When you're dealing with medication, it's easy to unalive something
Right.
versus a gun. Somebody going out and shooting, you got residue on your hands and things like that. That's like the safest. That's like very hard to even bring to a trial or to say you did this to this person, because
Right.
anybody can put hands on medication and unalive somebody, and it's difficult to try to say this person did this and that versus a weapon of mass destruction. So
That's true.
with that being said, this man thinks very methodically about everything that he's done. He's been taught by the best of the best of people that we lost through the years, with the Clive Davis doing his thing, of Prince and Michael Jackson and so forth and so on. It's so deep, man. But
Brother, you correct.
I'm telling you, man, it's the easiest way of getting away with crimes when it's involving a medication, something that you have some type of substance that you digest. Because how can you say I did this, I did that? It's no fingerprints, and it goes through the system. And then once coroners realize what was actually done, it's so much to try to gather that evidence to prove that you're connected to what happened to that person.
That's true, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming up, and make sure you come back anytime you want.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You're doing a great thing, and God bless you. I wish you the best, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Peace and blessings to you, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, little brother, you next. What's your take on it?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing much. How's your day going?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm best to keep above board at the moment. I had to take a few breaths before I started. Honestly, the whole situation, period. The whole situation's horrible with
Yeah,
everything going on.
I agree.
What's actually making it worse is people who have no idea what it's like to be in this situation having an opinion about it.
I agree.
That's kind of making the situation a lot worse. That's why a lot of victims don't want to come out. They don't want their lives in the microscope.
Yeah.
On the outside of exact.
We losing you, little brother.
And my connection, because I'm at work.
Oh.
And a lot of the times, unfortunately, until, can you hear me?
Yes.
Ah, man. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
All right. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, I can hear you now. It was really broken up before. Hold up. Let's see if I can get up.
Yeah, it's little brother. I'm gonna drop you down. Come back up when you get to an area
I'll
where
come
you
back,
got
big brother.
reception.
Let me try to get a better connection. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna drop you down.
I got you.
Hey, Gina.
I'm back.
Hey, no. You're welcome. Come on.
what what I want people to try to understand is, and people that are saying, now you done fixed in your mind, oh my God, I'm in a lot of mess. I need to get out of this. Imagine knowing that this man has doctors in his pockets, politics in
Facts.
his pockets, cops in his pockets, lawyers in his pockets. Who you telling? Who you telling?
Yeah, where can you turn to?
Your parents is in his pockets. So what
Mm-hmm.
you doing? Where you going?
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
She locked up.
Yeah.
She locked up getting out. And I'm so thankful that she
Alive.
did. And thank you. Alive.
Yeah.
Her and Albie
Hmm.
looked up.
I agree with you on that. I definitely believe Al B. What his statements he made this past Friday was explosive.
Exactly.
So it was needed. It was definitely needed. You still got another minute now. It's
Oh,
more context you can put on
oh.
there now. You talk, but it's on you.
Yeah, but I just don't. And I myself, I've never been in an abusive relationship, thank God, because, but I do understand the power of love. What we think, each individual believe what love is in their eyes. Can't nobody tell you nothing. At that pivot point when you are in the deepest love, there's no telling what you will do and what you will not do.
I'm guilty of that. I have to say.
Right.
Look, caught me
Myself.
red-handed.
Myself. Like I remember being at that highest point where I knew when I got home my mama was gonna get me, but I didn't care. I suffered what I got.
Mm-hmm. Because you wanted to get what you was getting.
Exactly. Exactly.
Been there. I agree with you on that, Gina. I appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But people gotta understand that love, and then you're gonna add that money and that fame and all into the mix is a whole different beast.
All facts. This is W Gina. All facts. I appreciate you on that. I'm gonna move on, but you're welcome to come back.
All right.
All right, thanks. Love that. I love that. She hit the nail right on the head. Okay, hold on. Let me see. That says, uh, can I call you Marie? It's Mariposini? Pasina?
Mariposena. Hi.
Oh, I love that. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I like that name. Okay, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Blessings to everybody. Unfortunately, under this situation,
Yeah.
I think a big thing, I think of a history about you have to, I think with everything that's going on, like there has to be a history about, Diddy's life, and something about his why he became this way or what he did to do all these expose people this way and take advantage of people. Um, he went to a Catholic school and he was an altar um, boy in a Catholic school back in 1987. So I'm Catholic, and so I have a big thing about how people took advantage of a lot of these folks and boys and girls. And I know growing up in Catholic school, the priest and everything that I feel like there was just something else underlying. He didn't just become this way. And the fact that he grew up as being an altar boy, um, I think it was called Mount St. Michael Academy. And it was an
I
all
believe
boys,
that was the name of it.
and it was an all boy Catholic school. And he was an altar boy. And so I kind of feel like maybe something happened to him that might have made this kind of put this up for him. I just remember me being, I went to Catholic school from 6th grade to 12th grade. And I remember we had a priest, and it was just, it was like he gave me like some kind of off feeling. And like he would come and see us girls in high school, because I went to all girl high school, and like rubbing our shoulders and stuff. And it was just really awkward. And so when we'd see him, we'd run away. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's something under the surface of like where he came to be at this point, not excusing it, but I think there's just ways something in his youth that something, and I pray for him that somebody hopefully didn't do something to him. But I think that this is where it just kind of became very tumultuous, and like he's just started taking advantage of all these folks, and with his notoriety and fame, he just started like taking advantage of people, which is what he probably knew how to take control of maybe his youth. I don't know. I'm just like thinking.
No, I appreciate that perspective, and I could definitely see what you're saying on that. And I mean, a lot of people that are bullied, they end up bullying other people to make up for what they went through because of the hurt they felt when they were being bullied. So I can see where you're coming from with that, and you may not be far off. You just may not be far off, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming up and stating that for me.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
Hey, make sure you come back anytime you like. You're welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Have a
All right,
good day, everybody. Bye.
you too. Bye. TD, I think that's what it says.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, we can hear you. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, and thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. I want to say I do agree with the last speaker. As a psychology major, it does make sense for his behavior, but it doesn't excuse it because a lot of us have gone through hurtful situations. I grew up in a violent household where my dad constantly beat my mom. And as a kid and as a teenager, you think, just leave, just leave. Well, as an adult, I had the privilege of speaking to my mom about why she stayed, like what kept you. And it was never love for him, it was love for her children. She thought us being in a home, having a roof over our head, where someone, she also worked, but he showed a lot of love to my brother and sister, not myself. He was abusive to me, and she didn't find out till I was, excuse me, until I was older. But she felt safer knowing what he was going to do than not knowing what he was to do. Because every time she did find the courage to go and leave and go to the friends, go to the family, and he would act even more foolish than he did when she was home. And so she had more love for her children, her friends and family, and she was willing to sacrifice just her getting beat down than him coming over and fighting with my grandmother or fighting with her best friend. She take one for the team because she felt that this was her mess to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
So at home, he would only beat her. So she thought, because he would beat me when she wasn't around. But when she left, he was getting into it with my family members and her friends, fighting them. So it's not about the love that they have for them. They stopped loving themselves a long time ago. My mom stopped loving herself. She figured this was it. I screwed up, but I'm not going to drag anybody down this rabbit hole with me.
That's
But
powerful.
yeah, yeah, but I can see because I grew up in that household. Now, I was hurt. Obviously my dad was hurt somewhere down the line. So hurt people hurt people. First relationship I get into, now I'm about to hurt you because that's what relationships are.
Yes.
I probably was one of the first women to start beating dudes' asses.
No,
Like,
you're like, hold on, wait a
no, no,
minute.
no, because we're in a relationship, right?
That's how it
You
goes.
love me, right? I gotta beat your ass. It's like,
Right. Yeah, I
okay,
get it.
right? I didn't mean to hit you so hard with the bat, but I love you. You know.
That's how much I love you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
See,
grew up seeing that. That's how you grew up seeing love being expressed, or what you thought was love, or
thought
was
was
taught love.
love,
Right,
and people
right,
use that word so loosely. I know my time is running out. People use love so loosely. Now, as an adult who understands better and have experienced life more, it's more about when you meet somebody, oh, I love you. I love. What does love mean to you? Because love might mean to you, you going over upside my head. Love might mean to you that you hump on trees. I don't know.
right.
Let's talk about what that means to you. If love isn't God to you, then I can't mess with you. And
Mm,
I got to know what God you worship.
truth,
What, who?
truth.
Because the devil is a God to many, you
Yes,
know?
yes,
So
you're
it's
right.
like we have to have some mature conversations. Not, oh, she looked good, he looked good, he smelled good, oh, we kicked it, whatever. No, let's talk about what things mean to you. Let's talk about your background. Let's talk about what you're bringing into this relationship. Because I need to make a conscious decision whether I want to, ride this out with you or just kindly bow out and walk away because I don't want to be in a toxic relationship and I don't want to bring my toxicity into your life either. So if we're not here
Love
to
that.
heal and help each other, let's go. And poor Cassie, yeah, she might had the same mentality, as my mom. I don't
Right.
know.
And
I
that's
don't want to
true.
hurt anybody else in this. Let me just ride it out. And you see when she did try to leave, God damn, he beat her down.
Yes,
You see what I'm
yes.
saying? And beat
Mm-hmm.
her down in pub. That was a public place. Like,
Right.
so if he did
That
that in
couldn't have been the only
public,
time.
right, exactly. So people, like you said, like they were saying, stop asking why you didn't leave in a condescending way. Why you didn't leave? How come you just didn't leave? Well, no, baby. How come you didn't leave? Let's talk about it. What was going on where you felt you didn't have a safe place or a
Right.
safe time to just escape? Anyway,
That's
I
facts.
know
That's
that's my
facts. I appreciate
time.
you. Hey, thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You have a good day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Thanks.
Hey, that was powerful and right. And man, I got to get ready to do the phone meeting, but let's give it up for all the panel guests, regardless of what. Let's give it up for all the panel guests. Um, again, people, this is we're still at the beginning, so things is gonna get even crazier as we go along. Um, we're gonna keep doing this, and again, people, let's just keep an open mind with everybody and be respectful. Okay. Uh, let me give it up for my moderators, my gifters. Thank you for gifting and uplifting. And if y'all don't mind, let's just before we close out and end the show, let's all bow our heads and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, um, we know that you see the distress that our world or society is in right now. Father, we know when you created this beautiful place, this is not the vision that you had. But Father, we also know that there's faith. There's this thing called faith that if we hold on to it and if we keep it and if we put it and instill it within you, that you will render all good things to us and you will protect us. And Father, we just pray that those who aren't uh, heavy in their faith or aren't believing in you or aren't just sitting still and allowing you to guide their steps properly and put love in their heart. Father, it is our prayer that you, in some way, touch the hearts of those people, those hardened hearts. If you could touch it and just instill love into them, Father, we know that all things are possible through you and you only, Father. Father, we pray that you be with my panel guests and their families, and keep them safe from all earthly harm and danger. Anybody that's in the sound of my ear, Father, if you could just keep them sheltered in time of storm. We thank you for it. We thank you for the blessings that you give us. Father, I know sometimes we don't even stop to say thank you, Father. We would like to do so now. Thank you. Thank you for your endless, matchless, and unwaveringly love that you give us. Because we know that we are not worthy of it, but yet and still, you never change. Your love is unconditional. And Father, we thank you for that. Father, we pray that we all get to dwell with you amongst your kingdom when it comes to the day of judgment, Father. These things we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Let us all say, amen. You all, thank you for joining the show today. Again, I know there were some things that were said and people didn't agree, and and some things were hard to listen to, and some things were triggering. I do want to apologize, and those who were triggered, those who are going through domestic violence, please, please, please know and understand that this platform is a place for you to come. We don't judge. There is no judgment here. If you feel like you don't have anybody else you can call on to help, please come here. And I promise you that me and my followers, my friends, my extended family here, we'll try to put our heads together and come up with something. It doesn't matter if we have to cash app you money to get out and get to a safe place. We'll do just that because that's what it's for. It's free to love. It's free to care. And that's what we do it for. I know people, trust me, I get it all the time. This all you talk about is the Diddy trial or I'm sorry, Puffy Jacket trial, or you always do. And that's fine. If that's not your cup of tea, leave. But really, if you stay long enough, you'll understand that we have substance. Yes, we talk about that. But that's not what we are all about. I have people that on a daily we meet here and we are we check on each other off this platform. And I thank God for allowing me to have this platform and to meet these people who may not be my family by blood, but they my family by love. They are my blessings. And we have no problems being the same to you. So all my ladies, all my men, if you're in a situation right now and you're being a DV, let's say DV because we can't say the words on here to trip. But if you're in a DV situation, do not be afraid to reach out. You all have a blessed day. Be careful, and we'll see you tomorrow.